This is part 2. Except I need to click the button. It was half clicked. Okay, where did we get to? We were talking about buttons, weren't we? Okay, so let's double click on that. We'll change it to a cursor so we can actually make it happen. So now we can see that that's a button, click on it and it runs our script. Actually it doesn't run a script, it's just running, it's doing the show dialogue. So instead of that, let's make it perform a script. And we'll do our great big script. So now we've got a couple of extra things in here. This one brings up our script, so we can actually manage what the script does. So instead of having to go back out to the script and come back in and do this and do that and things, that just brings us straight into the script. And the other one allows us to change the script. So if we did the same sort of thing back in Filemaker 13 and we double click it, we don't get access. Well, if we go to the script, we've got to come into here and then we can choose this and then we can come in here and we can edit it if we want to. So we can do it, but it's 4 or 5 clicks. Whereas in here, in Filemaker 14, we've got this, click on that, we can come straight in and edit the script, or we can change the script. And we've got the same things down here. If we want to come in here and then go to that and then edit the script and then do things in there, we do have access to the same sorts of things. Take that back to that one, come back out again, run our script, that's doing that, that's doing that, and that's doing that. So it's running the script. If we want to turn our debugger on, we can, again, in advanced only, we can come in and we can turn the debugger on, click the button, and we can go through what it's actually doing. Yes, we didn't capture the error there. It just went straight through. If we took the error capture off, I'll just come in here, and that's expected behaviour, by the way. When you turn error capture on, the FileMaker captures the error, but you've got to deal with it. FileMaker doesn't deal with it. So if I turn error capture off, there we go, we just have to click it on or off. That's nice. I'll save that. I'm in the script, so I've tried to save it and it says you're running the script. Do you really want to stop it? Yes, I do. So that stopped the script and it saved it. I'll close that and we'll run it again and we'll step through it. So error capture is off this time. So we come in, we get our error, and it's bringing up the normal Filemaker Pro error dialog box for, sorry, no records in this for that found criteria, and allowing you to change it. I'm going to cancel that, and that's told me what I've done. I've actually cancelled out of the script. So let's just go back to that script and Workspace, that was that one. Move this out of the way. And I'm going to put in another if and get last error. So it's thinking that I want last error. No idea how it knows that. Actually, that's the first of the lasts. So get last error equals 401. And I know that it's 401 because my dialog box, my script debugger told me it was 401, so that's good. So if the get last error was 401, then I'm going to show a custom dialog. And just leave it like that. So instead of getting FileMaker's thing, I'm putting in my own dialog box, capturing the error, and then I'm left with no records. So what I really want to do is show all records. so much quicker than going across and double clicking and doing this and doing this. So much quicker. And especially if you've got what you're wanting to do in your head, you can just be typing it out. So I'm going to show all records and then I'm going to go on and do the rest of it. So I've saved that. Go back, in fact I'll just, I'll debug it. No, I won't debug it, we'll do it from the button since it's attached to a button. We will step through it though. Oh, realised I haven't turned that off. So it's still, because it was off, it would still throw the FileMaker error. So I'll do that and we'll run it. So it's shown that. My last error was 401. So I show my dialog box. Shows all the records. Does all the rest of it. And I'll just go through to the end. Get all my dialog boxes. 105 of them. So coming back to the button, we can have just an icon. We can have an icon with a name, either above or below. Where the icon's actually a bit big so we can't see it, so I'll make it like that. Above it, attempt to go above it, there we go. Next to it, on the side, or on the left. So we can put an icon with text together, which is very nice, or just the text. And I can believe we can change the colour of the text. So let's put that in there. So yes, we can change the colour of the text. I thought we could change the colour of the icons, and I'm sure I have changed the colour of the icons, but I can't remember how to do it.
Hover states, that's how well we've managed to do.
Yeah, that's in the normal state. In the hover state, it's not doing anything different, and I'm sure I've done something. We can certainly change the background and the line around the actual button, but the icon on the top, I thought I'd done it, but I might be dreaming. I have done that. Yes, so they're terrific. That makes doing our buttons a whole heap easier. Same sort of thing with our popover button. So it's now a popover. We've got the same sorts of things. We can put icons on our popovers. We can, the same as before, change the name, set script triggers when a popover happens. And again, you can put anything you want in a popover. So if I put a web viewer in there, did I? No, I grab a web viewer, put a web viewer in there, and I'll make it go to is that the right address? Okay, so we come back into there and click on that button, pops it up, goes out and finds the iMug website. And that's all interactable within it. Yes, I clicked on the video. Oh, look at that, I'm going to be talking tonight. Isn't that good? Okay. Yes. Something I've done with popovers to make it look a little bit more web-like is that we've got this button here. I've created, or you can create a button. I'll just use this one. Do that, and we'll make it a little bit smaller, a little bit bigger, make it smaller, give it a background colour. No. Fill, solid colour. That's not going to work, is it? Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Now looking better. Still not right because it would need to be a round button, but then I stick that on the, it's still got to be, come forward, still got to be on the popover or in the popover. Yes, I don't have the, take that off. I'll show title bar, get rid of the title bar, and then I'll shrink it a little bit. There we go. Stick that up in the, it's falling outside it because it's so big. I'll make it go there. And then do a single step and get rid of that, close popover. So click on that, there's our little close button, and I can make it so that it falls just outside, and then you can click that and close the popover. Now popover is closed as soon as you click outside them, but that's not necessarily intuitive. So I've started putting a little icon in there to say, okay, either there or up here, there's my little close button. So it looks a bit more web-like, which is what pop-ups are supposed to be looking like. And again, on the iPad, which is what they're really useful for, you don't necessarily know to tap somewhere else on the window to get rid of it. And I either put in a close button, and you think, oh, great big huge button. If I put a little black cross, everybody knows what a little black cross is. Tap that, and the popover disappears. Styles would take me all night to talk about. They've got some new themes, newish themes, which I've never liked any of the Filemaker themes, but you can start with them. Themes are all layout based. They are all CS, the underpinnings of them are all CSS. So you can change them on a layout by layout basis, and when you change it, everything within the layout changes to that theme. You can then take objects and change them. So I'm going to put another, make it look really horrible. Actually, the colour picker is something that I should put in. The colour picker, it used to be, go back to here, nope. Go into here, bring up the colour picker. So you've got the colour picker within here. You've got other colour, which brings you, if you've got other palettes, you can do other things and it remembers your latest ones. That's now all within the colour picker. So we've got the latest ones. We can drag these into there. It's actually dragged similar colours into there. We can put in hex. So if it needs to match something that's on the web, we can just type that in. We can use this to, should be able to use that, to, yes, that's now showing me, I haven't used this obviously, it's showing me where it is and what it is, and if we want that blue there, that then takes that blue there. So that's looking nice and horrible. And if we wanted to then change that, we could save that as a new style and call it something. We could, that's now within that, we could take it back to our default or change that style. We could save this as a totally new style. And there's a totally new style. So we've got the name for this. Oh no, that's the style. Yeah, so we've now got two new styles, or the default one. And then you can go to another layout and bring those in. Layout 2, I'll go to layout. I'll go to this one. And the problem is we've got to go, sorry, I should be changing a new theme, adding a new theme, but I'm not going to do that. Read up on the styles if you really want to play with them. Sorry? Yes. Yeah. It will get better. We had an objection from the crowd. They said it wasn't very good. It's a lot of work. It is a lot of work, particularly if you've got lots of layouts, particularly if you're retrofitting. If you start off with a theme, then that can be replicated right throughout, and that's really good. But if you're dealing with a solution where you want to change something and have that go right through the whole solution, it's a fair bit of work. To put it nicely, put it mildly. None of this has changed. The appearance hasn't really changed. Nothing much new in there. The big, as I mentioned, the big difference is the placeholder text. And the other thing is, we'll just do a checkbox set. I'll do that, which makes no sense at all. However, now instead of having either an X, you could have it as a check. So it's now a tick. Whoops. Come back to here, browse. So now if I select that, we've now got a tick rather than a cross. Hooray! Sorry?
Big feature though.
Yeah, big feature. Big feature. Yes. Well, that now stops us having to have little ticks and crosses and two little things, and I still use them anyway. Yeah, so it's now a tick rather than a cross. And we will get rid of that, take it back to our normal field. All the rest is basically the same. You can put colours and things on them and with different states and things, but they're all pretty much the same. Apparently copying and formatting of styles is a lot easier. One of the really big ones, if you're connected to server, you will love this one. I'm going to open something. Yeah, this is just a bunch of names, so that's all fine. If I can remember the password. Okay, so I'm going to go back to 13. I'm going to open the same one on 13. Where are we? Yes. Good. Okay. So we've got both of those on 13. This is going to remember the password, isn't it, Les? Let's hope it's going to remember the password, the wireless password. Because I'm going to I'm going to drop out.
Oh, okay, I'll help you out then.
Right, if it doesn't remember. I'm going to turn wireless off, which means I'm going to lose my internet connection, which means I can't talk to my server anymore. We'll go back to there. I'll make it 13. I have lost my internet connection, haven't I? Bet I have. Okay, it's not happy. Spinning rainbow. Where is it? Where is it? Leave that spinning. Come back to here. Oh, look at this. Lost my connection. What do I want to do? Do I want to reconnect or do I want to close files? Let's turn our Wi-Fi back on. Just wait for it to get its connection.
So we don't want that one.
But do we need to do anything?
We want the other one. Just drop it down.
Okay. So we want,
programs, and I'll come up and type.
it should remember it.
Is it remembering it?
Should.
We'll see if it does.
Yes.
Good.
Okay. So there's my 2 dialog boxes. Filemaker 13. Couldn't find you. Bad luck. Gone. Okay? No, not okay. Filemaker 14. Reconnect. Okay. Well, it must be because it didn't quite, maybe I tried to reconnect a little bit early. I've actually unplugged everything at home, closed the laptop, driven 2 hours, opened the laptop, plugged it back in again, gone to it, and said, okay, there you are, we're back again. Brilliant. With Filemaker 13, Filemaker anything less than or equal to 13, if you lose the network for a nanosecond, it's gone. Filemaker 14, it will just reconnect for you. You won't even see that dialog box most of the time. And as I said, I've unplugged, I've opened up the laptop, I've gone to the database. It hasn't said, I've lost the connection, do you want to reconnect? It's just reconnected. It says, yeah, I can see it. Not a problem. So that's one of the biggies. Particularly with wireless networks. I've always had problems with clients who insist on having a wireless network because of all the cables that are around. Oh, Filemaker keeps dropping out. Yeah, well, it's to do with your network. Put cables in, or no, buy Filemaker 14. It'll just work. So that's great. The other thing within that is they've changed how, oops, I must be in 13. Go back to 14, no, I'll open up. Are we on that? Yes, we are on that. Go to browse, manage security. Okay. Use basic setup. Ignore. Okay, so I'm not quite sure why that came up like that, but it's now got this as the security settings, as the basic settings for 14. This is Pro and Advanced. So if I want to do a new account, I can do a new account in here. I could change the name of that new account. I could have no passwords. Same sorts of things with the privilege sets. That all looks the same. So we can give them some access privileges and things. Web Direct, do that. So that's all fine. Yep, we'll allow that. So let's just come back in again. Yep. Yeah, it doesn't like it when I have a blank password. I'm just going to ignore that. If I wanted to go back to my detailed ones, I could go back to here, and that all looks the same as it used to. There is something else that's slightly different, but it's not coming up on this one. Within the file options, I've already shown you the icon. The other thing that's missing, which nobody ever knew was there in the first place, was file options, was the text. Is the text in the other one? Yes, it was. There was something else that's gone missing from there. Text, yep. I'm not going to go looking for it because nobody knew where it was anyway. We've got the icon. Script triggers are the same sorts of things. We've got this on file AV player change. There's 4 or 5 new script triggers, and they're designed for the iPad to give, or the iPad, iPhone, iOS, to give access to controls when you're playing multimedia on the iOS devices. I'm not going to go into them tonight. there are a number of enhancements for the iOS, which again I won't really go into tonight, and they won't work on the desktop. I will go into the script debugger. Scripts. One of them is insert from device, which was in the it was in 13, but you can now within it, particularly with signatures, put in titles and messages and prompts. So if you're using an iOS device to capture signatures, got somebody going out and taking signatures for things that are happening, you can do an insert device. When you tap the button, it will come into this. Now you can get a title, you can say what it is, you can prompt it, have a message and a prompt rather than just a window. You can also get the orientation right. With 13 it had to be landscape. Now you can force it to be portrait, which is much better. I haven't used a lot of these, and if you're using the iOS device you can go off and explore them. The other really nice one, which I've discovered, is get rid of that. For a long time we've been able to save things out to directories in Filemaker, PDFs and Excel files and text files and CSVs and a whole heap of other things, pictures, all sorts of things. And if we wanted to go somewhere, we've had to know where to send it, or ask the user where to put it. And if we're doing a looping script, we don't necessarily want to say, okay, do it here and do it here again, do it here again, and 200th time do it here again. We want to be able to do that sort of stuff. So what developers have usually done is do a set variable, and then they tell the variable where it's going to go. So file path, I want it to go into the documents path. So we know it's going to go into the documents, and then I want it to go into, okay, I'm going to send out all my invoices. I want it to go into the invoices path, and then if within a loop I could do it so that we've got the, we'll just call it the file name, but we could do that as a variable as well. .pdf. So we know that that's going to be dropped into the documents folder, the invoices folder, the file name folder. But what if that person who's using it doesn't have the invoices folder? FileMaker says, your disk is full. Because it doesn't know, and it's stupid. And that's the generic thing, where it doesn't know where to put the document. It says, your disk is full, something's corrupted, you've done something else, your machine's going to blow up. And there's nothing you can do to change that. If you could use a plug-in so that you can do it on the run and create that folder, test whether the folder's there, create the folder. You could use AppleScript if you're on the Apple side, the Macintosh side, and create the folder when it's on the run. Can't do that on an iOS device. You can't use the plugins on the iOS device, so it doesn't work. So you've just got to know. In fact, it's a bit harder on the iOS device anyway. You just drop everything into the documents path. So that's what you had to do up to now. You had to guess where things were and try and work around it. Now we've got a new thing called what's it called? Oh, get. Okay, that makes sense. Get directory. And you can drop that into a variable called, you can give it a title. Oh, come on. 2 O's, please. And I could test whether it's on a PC or a Mac. And if it's on a Mac, I can say choose folder. If it's on a PC, I could say choose directory. I actually, again, use custom functions. One's called I've got 3 of them. Is Mac, is Win, is iOS. So I don't have to know what the numbers were and which device it is. And so choose folder, and the default location, okay, I wanted to send it to, documents path. I wanted to send it to the documents path. And allow folder creation. So I'm going to get rid of that one, and I'll put an exit script on here so we can actually see it running. So now we'll run it through the debugger. Okay, we'll do a new record request, that's fine. We can show, okay, so when I create a new record, it's gone into the first field, which has triggered the on object enter, which has shown my dialog box. So that's why you turn off that script debugging thing. And now I'm going to do my get directory. So up it's popped. I've got my choose folder. I've got my new folder button, and I'm in the documents path. Okay, so I want to choose that one. I go select, and that, if I go into here, there's my variable. That's where it is going. So I can now use that in anything below that in my script. So now we don't have to worry about whether they've got the folder or whether they haven't got the folder. You can put an instruction on the top, please create an invoices folder, or user invoices folder. If you don't have one, create one. So that's a terrific one. We'll get out of here and we will exit the script. Time, gentlemen, please. Well, that's good because I've just about finished. So there is a whole list of stuff that Filemaker has changed, but I think I've got through the guts of everything that people would normally want to use, and everything else gets a bit esoteric. We have a question.
Any changes in two questions. Any changes in the graphics capabilities?
Switch it on.
Switch, it is on.
Any changes in the graphics capabilities? And is there any change in the issues relating to printing multiple pages where the text crosses A4 pages?
The second one, I haven't heard anything about that. Yes, breaking over pages has always been a problem, and you can't control it easily. There are workarounds. People have done amazing workarounds to do that, so you've got a certain amount on each page. And I saw a solution recently where they had a great big huge long thing, and they had on the sides of it, they had, this is where the page breaks, so people had to put in carriage returns and pushed into the next page, and just not nice. But that's one workaround. No, there's no workaround for that. When you say the graphics capabilities,
but just the basic drawing.
No.
Like arrows.
No.
Arrows have never been there.
No. Well, I'll just go into the, if you're wanting buttons and things, or if you're wanting to make a pseudo arrow, yes, we have arrows in here now. So if you wanted a nice arrow, you would put it into a button, make it nice and big, make it do nothing, there's an arrow. So, yes. But that sort of stuff, if you want a nice arrow, there's been, for a long time, you just drop a picture in. Drop a picture in. Drop a PNG onto your layout. So, yeah. Any other questions? Comments, criticisms? Time to go home.
Well, look, thank you once again, Michael. I really don't need to thank you anymore. It's. I think you started with Filemaker talking to us about 5 or thereabout.
No, wouldn't have been that early.
Wouldn't it?
No.
All right.
Yes.
But it's certainly been a while. I'm sure about 7.
Could be 7.
I think about 7. Yeah, and and it's just a delight for Michael to actually go through a whole evening. We used to restrict Michael to one of the half sessions, and that was never a success, was it? No. So, look, thank you very much. Can we put our hands together and just thank Michael?
Thank you.